Widzowie, taki filmik jest. Spędziłem 30 dni w martwym MMO. I było niesamowicie.
Welcome to Dark Ages, one of the world's first MMORPGs that once thrived on a player-run economy, player-run politics, and even in-game religions. That was 20 years ago, and every year
Grał w to
since
ktoś
then,
w ogóle? Czekajcie, jak to się nazywa?
a player ages, one of the world's first
Dark Ages. W życiu tego na oczy nie widziałem.
realistic reason to keep Dark Ages running. But the servers are still running, and for $9.95, I am now a registered player on Dark Ages for 30 days. 30 days to find out if anyone is still playing, and if so, why they're still playing.
Cześć Heki,
Okay,
dziękuję.
we're in, and I'm naked. Okay, looks like we're in some sort of tutorial to start. I'm going to teach you about combat. Be aware that combat is dangerous. Make friends about your same level and adventure in a group. All right, so the game encourages you to make friends. That may be a problem. Now, before I dropped the cheap price of $10 on this game, I looked on Reddit to see if anyone was talking about it, and there's basically nothing except a few posts mentioning how dead the game is. Not a great sign for finding.
To jest ciekawe. Myślicie, że typ ma swój serwerek gdzieś tam postawiony cały czas u siebie na chacie i dlatego to tylko działa?
So the website where you download this game is super old school, but I looked through it and saw a community.
Ej, ale czekaj. 15 maja 2025 coś było. Czyli cały czas jakieś newsy się pojawiają.
Oh, there's a list for guilds. There has to be people playing this game with this many guilds. All right, I'm done with the tutorial. Time to find some people. There's somebody. Wait, that was so quick. How am I already finding people in this game?
To nie NPC?
Okay, I'm not sure if these are real players or not. They haven't responded in over 5 minutes, and they're blowing nose bubbles. This game has been out for 26 years, so I guess it's fairly unlikely to find anyone in the first town of the game. They're probably somewhere else. So here's the plan for these 30 days. There's two things that can happen. Number one, this game is trash, and there's no real reason for it to be around. So I play 30 days and get out. Or the game turns out to be great, and I do my best to help revive it. The question is, how would I do that? I continued to walk around looking for people.
Ważne, że
but I
działa
had no luck.
pojedzone,
I
a
think
nie
I
10
might be
FPS-ów.
alone. Since there's nothing else to do, I figured I would take a look at my quest list, and it said I should pick up a class. Dark Ages is an MMO, so you choose what type of style of play you want. I went with Priest. I figured if I was gonna make any friends, I'd have a much better chance if I became a priest and devote myself to keep others alive.
O, są ludzie, ty. Nie, no to już 100% są ludzie. W ogóle to już wam mówiłem wczoraj też, że serio, w takich grach, które wydają się mega martwe, no to tu już jest przesada, nie? Bo tu jest pewnie kilkanaście osób, ale serio, jak jest MMORPG, który ma z 1000 osób, to właśnie i tak da się pograć w te 1000 osób, bo to wciąż jest 1000 osób, ale no przez to, że to nie jest metowy MMORPG, to też ci ludzie nie mają takiego podejścia, że człowieku już teraz, zaraz, szybko i jak najszybciej, najlepiej. Tylko po prostu chillują bombę i to jest fajne w tych MMORPG-ach. Tak, Jordi, wysłałem zapro. Znaczy,
Hello, I'm a new player.
no, prośba.
Welcome. Not many low levels these days.
I think my questions must have been so obviously ignorant that it caught the attention of a different player nearby. Is that a real novice? She's confused how I even found this game. That's how you know this game is dead. It sounds like I might have messed up choosing Priest because Priests apparently don't learn any attack moves, which means I'd have to find another new player to level up with. So I took a shot in the dark and I asked this player if they wanted to make a new character with me and level.
Ale jaja, ty, czaisz, człowieku? Oni wszyscy 3 osoby na serwerze i w szoku, że gościu przyszedł.
Amusing.
I don't know what amusing means, but I think they just laughed at me. But then, it seemed like they might actually be interested. I think I just made my first friend. They spent the next 10 minutes explaining how the game works and
Nie ma
provided
voice
some info
chatu,
about
to
the
jest montaż,
classes.
wiesz?
They were very knowledgeable and definitely seemed like a veteran, so I asked how long they've been playing. Suddenly, I'm in a group with this person on a fresh account they made.
Kurczę. Trochę to przerażające jest, nie? Że ci ludzie tutaj pewnie z 20 lat w tej grze spędzili. Są ostatnimi 10 osobami na serwerze. I dalej na przykład dzień w dzień potrafią się zalogować. Kurczaki, żeby tego nie zostawić za sobą, z drugiej strony wygracie w L2, to też wcale lepiej z wami nie jest. Okej, to chyba normalne.
I guess the first goal of Dark Ages is to get level 6, so we got to slaying. There's only like 3 people who play how we currently are. 3 people? When you started playing, was there a lot more players? It used to be thousands. Doesn't seem like a lot, but I guess that's more than 3. There's a lot of fun stuff that happened. It's all in the past. So from my understanding so far,
Ale
this
ktoś
game has a
nostalgią
player base.
żyje, nie? Ja cię kręcę. Nie wiem, mam wrażenie, taki niepokój czuję po prostu, jak to oglądam. Bez
Of
kitu.
roughly 30 to 40 people who aren't even really playing the game. They're mostly just hanging out online. Not only that, everyone who plays is at the maximum level already, and I might be the first person in over a decade who is truly new. So if religion, politics, and economy are clearly not what they used to be, why are people still here? We finished leveling in the crypts, and I was taken on a shopping spree around town to purchase a few items that will help me over the next 30 days. This player was so kind and welcoming, chatty and supportive. I have never seen this level of enthusiasm towards a new player in any other video game. It almost feels fake, but I know it's probably just the love they have for this game pouring through. We talked for a bit longer, and before we parted ways, I asked if we could stay friends and maybe level up again tomorrow. Overall, not a bad first day in Dark Ages, but there's still lots to learn and possibly more people to meet.
Dzień
While I
drugi.
was offline, word got around that a new player had entered Dark Ages. This game is so
Człowieku, plotka poszła, nie? Plotka poszła, że nowy przyszedł.
dead
Ja
that
cię
the fact
kręcę.
that I just logged in as a new player is like the biggest news they've heard in a long time. I was introduced to a person named Yuki. Yuki is what the game calls a ranger, basically the police. The ranger's job is to hold players to the terms of service, and they have the power to punish, ban, or delete characters from the game. We talked for a
Co?
while, and I was taken to a town. I didn't know where I was, but suddenly I got an
Czajcie? A to jest jakiś rodzaj klasy postaci, że może banować? Chyba, że to jest po prostu, wiecie, GM, ale ciekawe, czy to jest jakiś rodzaj klasy postaci. Ale to jest ciekawa rozkmina, rozumiecie to? Że macie postać, robicie od początku postać i w miarę tego, jak levelujecie i budujecie reputację w tej grze, to dostajecie coraz więcej uprawnień. Na przykład na samym początku nie możecie nic, później na przykład możecie dać tylko timeouta na czat, a później na przykład możecie wrzucić kogoś do więzienia na maks 1 dzień albo 3 dni, a później całkiem usunąć postać, jak już jesteście naprawdę zasłużeni. Ale podupcone, ciekawe to jest. A, GM po prostu. Kurde, a już sobie myślę, ja pierdzielę. Ale to by było, jeśli by to funkcjonowało i to by działało, to kurde.
invite to a guild. I am now a member of Chocolate. Chocolate! After I joined the guild, Yuki brought me to a specific area in the game where apparently everyone goes to hang out. If I was ever going to see somebody online, they would most likely be here. There's a total of 6 people today, and I think 3 of them are the same person. Ooh, 50 million gold? For some reason, everybody is trading me and giving me random items that I'm sure are important and helpful. I just have no idea.
Nie cierpię tego, widzowie. Ja od widza w życiu nigdy bym nic nie przyjął, nie? Jednak droga od zera do bohatera to jest coś niesamowicie satysfakcjonującego i w życiu bym nie przyjął po prostu, wiecie, giru tak, no, bo tracisz całą satysfakcję. Nie znasz tej drogi, nie? Jak ja bym ludziom później na YouTubie miał opowiadać, nie? Że co, że przecież to nie miałoby sensu, że ja nagle bym powiedział, że ale dungeony były zajebiście łatwe, to, tamto, bo wszystko dostałem, nie? A tak to jest, wiecie, taki legit experience.
What they do. I spent a good hour or so here, just hanging out with the other players. On day
Dobra, po banie.
3, I returned to the same
Może na
area
YouTube
and was
będzie.
surprised to see even more players hanging out. Apparently, there are a few people who still play the role-playing aspect of this game. This might be weird to some of you, but role-playing is kind of a big part of some video games, and the number one rule is to never break character. He's new. We need to help him, sis. What? Later on in the day, I went back to the crypts to slash some enemies and try to level up more when I ran into this guy. He invited me to go deep into the Millith crypts. Apparently, there's some monsters
Ale
he
co to za
wants to
gościu?
kill
To
down
też
there
jakiś
to
nowy?
make some money. We ventured down into the...
Nie, on, czekaj, to jest ten sam. Ten sam, co wczoraj z nim był, bo też napisał na końcu amusing. To chyba ten sam
down there
styl.
to make some money. We ventured down into the crypts together, and when this guy was a kid, he could never get past level 11 of this crypt. And now we're in level 11.
A mi nie
but we're
przeszkadza
taking down
grafika,
the
chętnie w
monsters pretty
Ultima
easily.
Online zagram
It's
kiedyś.
handy having a priest with me. It's got none on us.
We continued deeper, and I think the oxygen levels were decreasing because my adventuring friend started to get philosophical on me.
This isn't even 2025. The world has been a
We were in these crypts now for over an hour, and now that we're on level 15, the monsters were getting a lot tougher. We decided this was a good spot to stop. What a day. A couple of days ago,
Dzień
while
czwarty.
talking to people in the hangout spot, I was told that getting the title of Master is a huge milestone for the account. My goal by the end of the 30 days is to reach Master level and throw a party just like they did in the old days. I've been instructed on how I can get Master, and there's a lot of training and steps to take, and they said it could be a few weeks, but that party will be worth it. By day 5, I had a routine where I would log in and head straight to the hangout spot. Anyone who is online is most
Człowieku, jak
likely
w
in this
fronterze przy tej. Albo na ręce, albo przy fontannie.
spot, so it's nice to just head over here and talk to them for a few minutes. Since this game has been around for ages, one of our conversations led to the question of who is the most well-known player.
Wiki.
I asked this question as I remembered old school RuneScape and Zezima. I'm sure Dark Ages probably has a Zezima equivalent. Some famous players are still around for sure. Alright, it sounds like there are a few famous players around, and one called Biomagus. Yuki, the ranger we met on day 2, said Biomagus has her own statue. We took a long walk to a different town, and the statue slowly came into view. Yuki told me their story, the first people to ever master.
No to też jest ciekawe. I znowu widzowie, cześć Siwcak. Ja nie mam totalnie nic przeciwko temu, że ktoś dostał jakąś zajebistą nagrodę, jest jednym z nielicznych na serwerze, czy dostanie posąg, czy jakiś dodupcony element ekwipunku legendarny, jeśli się odpowiednio tam, wiecie, postarał, pograł. Tylko nie dlatego, że jest, nie wiem, content creatorem, tylko że faktycznie dużo pograł i sobie zasłużył. Nie mam z tym żadnego problemu. Lubię takie smaczki. Nawet jeśli to jest totalnie niezbalansowane w jakiś tam sposób, znaczy może nie totalnie, nie żeby zabijał bossa solo, ale wiecie o co chodzi. Jeśli jest to jakiś taki totalny czempion, który grał x czasu i tak jest prawdopodobnie mała szansa, że go spotkam albo że z nim będę jakoś grał, a fajny to jest smaczek, jak później, nie wiem, w mieście możesz zobaczyć jakiegoś, kurczę, legendarną broń czy coś.
I think it's so cool that this game puts statues in it as a memoir for the first 5 players to ever reach Master. Biomagus, the statue here on the left, was the first wizard to reach Master level and still plays to this day. And I guess she's online right now. However, she spends her time sitting in a quiet area of the game and chats with her old guildmates. Probably doesn't want to be disturbed. But one day I might get to meet her. Dark Ages is turning out to have a rich history and a lot more lore and story to it than I could have ever thought. I almost feel like I missed out on something by not having known about this game earlier on. I spent a lot of time with Yuki today, and she showed me some of her favorite spots in Dark Ages. I'll remind you that Yuki is a ranger who has powers a normal player can't have, which includes this jail. Now here is my favorite room, the jail. If I jail someone, they appear in here, and they cannot exit for a period of time. First jail is 24 hours?
Ja pamiętam, że zostałem niesłusznie oskarżony na Lineage'u 2 na Raid Fight'cie za to, że oszukuję na cenach Warnisza i Soulshotów. Cześć Arduil, ale to było niesłuszne oskarżenie. Bo w sumie to już nie pamiętam, o co chodziło. W sensie chyba się pomyliłem jakoś i troszkę za drogo wystawiłem, czy coś. W sensie dopisałem 1 jedynkę, czy 2, coś w ten deseń. I byłem w jailu. Skurczybyki.
And it doubles up the more you get. Well, when's the last
Też nie
time you
mogłem
sent
wyjść.
someone here? A couple weeks ago. I was expecting years. That means in 1 year I sent 98 people into this room. It's kind of crazy to think she sent that many people to jail. The player base is not that large, so to send 98 people to jail in 1 year sounds like it could have ruined the entire player ecosystem.
No.
She then told me to make a new character because she has an even cooler power she wanted to show me. You are here because you have been charged with attempting to destroy the imagination that the Dark Ages team and players have painstakingly created. Yuki calls this place Super Jail. Apparently it trolls you a little and you're not even able to leave. Imagine playing this game for 20 years and Yuki sends you here, wiping the last 2 decades of progress in a single moment. Okay, in the beginning of the video, I mentioned 2 things that will happen in these 30 days. We're only 6 days in, and I'm confirming right now, Dark Ages is a good game. So that means I am now devoted to bringing this game back to life. The mastering party...
Wiecie, najlepsze jest to, że good game, ale nie ma tutaj totalnie nic o mechanikach jakichś takich bardziej złożonych. Tu jest po prostu community, które miło go przyjęło, więc no...
is the only idea I have
Chyba
right now,
ciężko tak
but I've got to
stwierdzić.
think of something else.
Może
This
czegoś
game
nie wiemy.
deserves to have more players. We have reached 1 week on Dark Ages, and I am so happy to have met the people I have met. Everyone is so nice and welcoming, giving gifts and showing me around the world. If you remember, I mentioned that religion is a part of Dark Ages as well. There are a number of gods you can worship, all with different attributes. You can freely choose who you want to worship, but you do have to select just one of them. I chose to worship Glioka, the god of love and companionship. 2 things I feel I've strongly felt since signing up for this game.
Compassion chyba, a nie companionship. Compassion, no.
Help you join. Specific religion must be online and help you join.
Nie
A few
oglądałem tego.
Glioka followers helped me and it didn't take long to join, and now that I'm a part of it, the players decided we should hold mass. I was surprised to see so many people come from all corners of this game to join in mass. I learned that there's actually in-game benefits for showing up, like 15% damage buffs for 1 hour after you attend. You can also lose favor if you don't come to the statue and pray often, so that's probably another reason why people are showing up. A few
ciekawe.
words. We thank thee for the love and the privilege of receiving it, Mother who smiles upon us in our weakness and is always ready to help us and
Fajne
take us in the
narracyjnie,
arms
nie?
of love.
Bardzo
In Glioka's
ciekawe.
name, amen.
Przyjemnie się ogląda.
Amen.
Amen.
I learned that eventually I could even have high enough status in the church to hold mass as a high priest. There's a whole system involved with that too, all player run. So far, we've made plenty of friends, joined a guild, learned about the history of Dark Ages, joined a church, and met a dude who doesn't
This
believe in
isn't even
time.
2025.
I'd say we've had a successful start to the game, and I'm starting to see why people choose to play even after all these years. But before the 30 days are over, I will become what they call a master. There's still a lot of work to do, and the next couple of days were spent doing that. On day number 9, I spent time in the dojo training my spells. On day 10, 11, 12, and 13, I was still in the dojo training spells. But on the end of day 13, things just got insane. The process required to get master is long and absurd,
Gościu
and
stoi
even though I
dalej w tym
had
samym
help,
miejscu, to chyba
I
NPC
still
jest.
had no idea what was going on. An example of what I mean. I was introduced to the craziest in-game system I have ever seen in a video
Oho.
game. First, you take
Najbardziej szalony system w grach. Widziałem wideo, gdzie gość polazł na jakiś serwer prywatny, Club Penguin, z powodu nostalgii. Pierwsza osoba, którą spotkał, zaciągnęła go do prywatnego pokoju i próbowała wkręcić w jakieś RP.
succubus hairs.
ERP
yes,
czy
you heard-
RP? Co to jest ERP w takim razie? To jest, nie wiem, piramida finansowa?
That right?
Czy po
You
prostu
place
RP
them in
chciałeś
this
napisać?
altar, which looks more like a hollowed out almond, and then you're supposed to kill yourself. You can kill yourself by walking in front of this dude, who for some reason hurts your character if you're nearby him. Great, now I'm in purgatory. But that's all intended because in this death zone, you walk aimlessly into a bunch of stones until you find the entrance to the lower level. Here, you can trade in your excess experience for HP and mana with the 2 god and devil things. Apparently, this is all required if I want to reach
Erotic
master, and there is
roleplay.
no way in
Okay.
hell I would have figured out any of this if I didn't have someone helping me. So yeah, this is just some of the things I've been doing over the last few days. I had a busy couple of days in real life, and there were still a few spells I had to train in the dojo, but by day 19, after spending a week training spells and doing some things that were probably honestly too boring to show you, we have made it to master, or we're at least ready to become a master. Back in the good old days of Dark Ages, it was customary that guilds would hold parties for people who reached master rank. Wanting to bring back that tradition, I will also have a party. I've already sent out a letter to the guild with a time and a date.
Okej. Ale świry,
I
ty.
must reveal the truth.
What's happening? What is Never talking about?
The Bindo you all think you know. In truth, he is a spy. A demon at that.
After the fanatics were over, I turned in what I needed to turn in to become a master wizard.
Co, jednak stał się wizardem? A myślałem, że był klerykiem.
Yeah, I was a priest, but I guess I'm a wizard now. It's hard to explain, but just I'm a priest and a wizard, essentially. Random internet people just showed up to an in-game party to congratulate me on mastering. I'll say it again, Dark Ages is a great game. But what do I do now? I still have about 1 week left of membership to Dark Ages, and I would love to find a way to help revive this game. And as I was figuring that out, I was approached by Never, a player who's been around since day one, lurking in the shadows. His intuition is pretty strong, and he confronted me and accused me of being a YouTuber. I lied, but I felt bad about that, so
Ciekawe, widzowie, czy w ogóle populacja tej gry po nagraniu tego filmiku się jakoś zwiększyła.
the next
Pewnie
day,
tak.
I told him he was right, and I asked if he wanted to hop into a voice call.
It's insane you picked this game. Because, like, from the outside, it looks insane, I think.
Yeah, like, you just have, there's no guessing what type of game it is. Like, I really had no idea what to expect.
Because, like, one of my biggest complaints is there's not enough players to really engage with some of the systems of, like, the politics and, like, the more deep systems that, like, are just require more people, right? And because there isn't that many players, some people will register, like, 5 accounts a month, right? So that's, like, $50 a month just there. And they
Ty, a właśnie, to jest ciekawe, cześć Siren, to jest ciekawe, nie woleli jakoś na free-to-play przejść, bo
have to
bali
do
się
that
botów,
because there's
czy
not
co?
enough players to do what they want to. Does that make sense?
Like, if their game, if suddenly there was like 1,000 players online.
Unfortunately, last time it was COVID, the pandemic, to kind of get people coming back. But like, I feel like something else could be the catalyst for that too, right? Like free to play or like, honestly, a very popular video, right?
We chatted for longer, like,
Czekaj, popularne. O kurde, 2 700 000 wyświetleń, widzowie. No nie wiem, chyba mieli oblężenie.
2 more hours, actually, and by day 30, I knew why people still play Dark Ages. We live in a time where things change so quickly.
Narracyjnie bardzo przyjemny filmik, 150 000 łapek w górę. 1 week update, the game is popping off. Niemal 400 jednocześnie zalogowanych graczy ostatniej nocy. Gra jest free to play. Można sprawdzić ją za darmo od 1 do 99 poziomu. 1 300 000 viewsów, jeszcze razy 2 zrobił. Jo cię kręca. Słyszałem, że było zdjęcie 9 graczy, którzy zabijali wilki w lesie. I actually worked on this game. O kurde, muzykę gościu robił do tego, ale jaja. Hit widzowie. Ciekawe. 99 rok. Dark Ages. A jest tutaj licznik online? Tak, z ciekawości, czy coś widać. Item shop. Oho. Trzeba się zalogować. Dark Ages, New Player, Nexus TK. 13. Najlepsze jest to, że cały czas tu jakieś update'y wchodzą. Cały czas, regularnie. Patrz, nawet Quality of Life update jakiś wleciał. No ciekawe. Kiedy ja będę nagrywał takie filmiki. Wiesz, że taki filmik paradoksalnie wymaga mega dużo czasu, żeby to nagrać. Ale jest to interesujące, żeby taką narrację przyjąć, zamiast po prostu merytorycznie podchodzić do tytułu. A czy on się zajmuje w ogóle MMORPG-ami, czy... Nie, zrobił... Kurde, Skyrim 1 600 000. Patrzcie, jaki ten algorytm YouTube'a jest niesamowity. 17 000, 1 600 000, 32 000, 2 700 000, 42. No. I tak to wygląda. Ale to spoko, bardzo fajnie się słuchało. Jeszcze jestem tylko ciekaw komentarzy, wiecie? O, ty, jest ich kanał nawet, patrzcie, Dark Ages. Your support means everything to us. O kurde, serio? Czyli oni cały czas, wiecie, jakoś takie grubsze plany z tym mają, w sensie wierzą jeszcze w jakiś sukces, skoro aż tak im na tym zależało. No ciekawe, ciekawe. No,